You're new to cloud computing, or you want to understand what Azure is and why it's a game changer for the career or business? In this video, I'll guide you through the fundamentals of Microsoft Azure, even if you have never touched the cloud before. I'm Kushantha Gunawardana, working as a cybersecurity and Microsoft trainer and also cloud consultant for last 12 years, and I will take you through important areas of Microsoft Azure. Even if you're planning to take AZ 900 Microsoft Azure Fundamentals exam, or even if you want to learn more about Azure, this is where you need to start. Let's begin. Let's try to understand what is cloud. What cloud does? So what cloud does is cloud gives us a rain. When we are getting the rain, we don't care where the clouds are coming from. The concept is pretty similar. So in this case, what we do is we are using someone else's infrastructure, someone else's services, or the services that are offered by or hosted by someone else and provide to us. In this case, it's Microsoft. Microsoft has large data centers situated, deployed all over the globe. There are over 140 plus data centers stationed around the globe to offer services over 160 countries. Let's try to understand what is the difference between traditional IT operations and Microsoft Cloud Services, or any type of cloud services. In traditional IT, we had this kind of data centers, and then we had to maintain the data centers by ourselves. So there are lots of investments to build the data center and also buy required hardware and also software installation and also hiring capable individuals to maintain, also known as IT engineers, to provide and maintain support for the maintenance of the data center. But when it comes to cloud, it's not like that. So service providers or cloud service providers like Microsoft and Oracle and also AWS, Google, there are so many cloud service providers. What they actually do is, instead of us maintaining our data centers, they maintain their own data centers. They invest a lot. So these are big players. They have a lot of money and a lot of resources. So they build data centers all around the world to offer services to respective clients. And in this case, they are invested for it, and they invested for hardware, they invested for properties, they invested for infrastructure and also the licensing and maintenance. What they do is offer the services through internet mostly, and also it can be through the browser or any other way that through the internet they offer the service. So that is the difference between cloud computing and traditional computing. So as an analogy, I would like to suggest buying a car and hiring a car. Both give us a commute, right? So you can transfer or you can go from one place to another in both situations. But what is the difference? So buying a car, you need to have capital investment for that. But hiring a car, you don't need that much of investment. Buying a car will give you entire liability that you need to look after everything, including maintenance and any other replacement of tires, for example. Everything has to be looked after by you. But what if you are hiring a car? Hiring company will take care of the car, maintenance will be done by them, but you can still drive your car. So when you compare these two, you will understand the difference between traditional IT and also cloud offering. I hope it is clear. And when it comes to cloud services, there are three different types of main cloud offerings. So they are known as infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, and software as a service. There are three types mainly. So what it does? Infrastructure as a service, mainly you're building your infrastructure on the cloud. So using someone else's infrastructure, in this case Microsoft, you're building infrastructure in their data centers or the cloud. But still you can access, manage, maintain by yourself. But if you look at the layers that you need to be managing are comparatively lower, because you don't have to worry about physical hardware, physical networks, or physical storages. Because Microsoft, in this case, will look after everything else for you. what you can do is, when it comes to infrastructure as a service, you can build virtual networks, you can build virtual machines, you can connect them, and you can configure them, and you can start using them. What about platform as a service? Platform as a service is they provide platform over their cloud services. You don't have to worry about underneath layers, but platform is there. For example, SQL database. So it's platform as a service. So then if you want to create a database, you don't have to build a server, you don't need hardware, or you don't need to install SQL Server, for example. You can straight away go ahead and create a database and start using it. Very easy, right? And then software as a service is, again, you need to maintain very lesser number of layers in this case. So for example, Microsoft 365 is a software as a service. So they offer Word, Excel, PowerPoint as a service where you can use them. So typically software as a service licenses per user per month basis offered. But platform as a service and infrastructure as a service, you will be paid only for the usage. So Microsoft has very interesting way of categorizing called SKUs, stock keeping unit for each and every component that you're going to be using in Microsoft Azure. And then when you're using this component, based on the usage, you will be charged every month. So it can be billed annually or monthly depending on your subscription. And guys, why cloud is important in today's world? Because it gives you a range of benefits. One is on-demand scalability. For example, if you're building your own data center, you will have to plan it according to the requirement. Let's say if you have 2,000 users, you need to build your data center accordingly. But when it comes to cloud, we have on-demand scalability. It doesn't matter how much you want, you can increase the size of the resources without any problem. And also it has global reach. You can create your resources anywhere in the world. And also it offers you cost efficiency. It's very cost effective, because the reason is maintaining a bunch of experts or consultants or professionals are not very cheap. So it's like very expensive. And also having your own servers and also hardware life cycle is over by 3 to 4 years. Then you have to replace the hardware, and also the licensing cost goes higher and higher. So considering everything, cloud is really important because you don't have to worry about any of those as long as you are paying the subscription fee. And also it is always built on top of Microsoft capabilities in this case, and security and compliance will be taken care of by Microsoft to some extent, depending on what type of services that you're after. If it is infrastructure as a service, you need to you have more kind of responsibility when it comes to security and compliance, but when it comes to software as a service, you have lesser responsibility when it comes to security and compliance. But however, Microsoft has built Azure keeping security and compliance in mind. Because of that, it is very, very solid in terms of security and compliance. And why Microsoft Azure, or what is Microsoft Azure? So the key points I would like to highlight few key points. Microsoft Azure is Microsoft's cloud platform and second largest in the world when you're comparing cloud platforms. And also Microsoft Azure offers 200 plus products and services across compute, networking, storage, databases, artificial intelligence, security, etc. And also Microsoft Azure uses by larger companies like and organizations like NASA, HSBC, BMW, and various governments today. And then, if you start to learn about Microsoft Azure, what are the key areas that you need to understand? Number one, Microsoft Azure virtual machines. So if you want to build your infrastructure on the cloud, you can build virtual machines known as Azure VMs. Those are actually servers, right? So you can build virtual servers on the cloud, and you can connect to them just like you're connecting to any other computer in the local infrastructure. And then it's like renting a computer in the cloud. and you can build Azure storages, cloud file storages to store your data. And you can maintain identity and access. You can create users in Azure AD. Now it is known as Entra ID. It's like Active Directory. You're creating users and manage and maintain user directory centrally on the cloud. It's easy, right? And also, if you want to create databases and manage them, you can use Azure SQL. And if you want to build apps, Azure has offering called Azure Web Apps. It is ready, available for you to build your first app. And also it's highly scalable. You can start off with testing app and you can expand all the way up to a bigger app like Facebook. And then next question is it easy to learn? Yes, it's not very hard. How to learn Azure effectively? I would like to give you tips and tricks. First, you can start with AZ 900, which is Azure Fundamentals. We are hoping to host a live webinar for AZ 900 or Azure Fundamentals, probably coming a weekend. So we will be announcing through this channel. So if you are interested, please subscribe, and then you will get to know when we host AZ 900 Azure Fundamentals for free to give you understanding of Azure, and also you can ask questions during the session, so then you will know everything that you require to know. And also we are going to cover key cloud concepts, pricing, services and SLAs within this session. And also, if you would like to learn about Azure more effectively, I would suggest you to follow AZ 900. And also, Microsoft offers some free platforms like learn.microsoft.com, where you can get to know about the concepts and also the content that are required for AZ 900 is available now for free. And then if you have Microsoft Learn account, you can access Microsoft sandboxes, hands-on modules and sandboxes, which are virtual environments that are created to practice more about the cloud strategies. And it is self-paced, interactive, and you can track progress if you register on Microsoft Learn. And the URL is given here. And then if you are a beginner, there are a few focus areas. First, you need to understand Azure core services. So I will be covering them in upcoming modules, upcoming videos, but still you can learn what are the core Azure services like virtual machines, Azure virtual machines, Azure databases, Azure storages, Azure networks, and so on. And then you need to understand cost management and billing, because it incurs cost as long as you are using Azure services. Each service has its own way of billing. For example, if you want to create a virtual machine, then there are different sizes and types of virtual machines with different pricing and costing. For example, if you need 2 virtual processors and 4 GB RAM, it will be different from costing than if you need 4 virtual CPUs and 8 GB RAM. I hope you understand. And then you need to understand what is Azure architecture, and then security, privacy and compliance areas of Azure, and also basics of compute, storage and networking. And then again, if you need to gain more understanding of Azure, another tip is practice with real lab. So you can use Microsoft Learn Sandbox if you have Microsoft Learn account, as I said before. Then you can practice more and no credit card needed. And also, you can get some information from GitHub Labs, Azure DevTools, WizLabs, and A Cloud Guru kind of services. But I would suggest to get your own Azure subscription, but you need a credit card to register, but it will not be charged without informing you. But you can create with your credit card free Azure account with a subscription worth $200. And another commonly asked question is how to get free Azure access, especially for the students and learners. So number one is you can use Microsoft Learn Sandbox. As I said before, link is there. Available with a Microsoft account, as I said, Microsoft Learn account, and it is free temporary Azure environment, usually about 4 hours access to Microsoft Azure through Microsoft Learn Sandbox. And also, Azure for Student is another location where you can get Azure access. So URL is given here, that is https azure.microsoft.com/en free/students. So you can get free $100 credits without a credit card. You can access to popular services like virtual machines, databases, AI tools with this Azure $100 student access. And you must verify academic status, especially if you have .edu email or student ID could be good enough if you are a student to get $100 free credit. Again, you can see the link here. And then you can use Azure free account for the general public. Again, link is given here, https://azure.microsoft.com/free. But you need a credit card to enable these services, because Microsoft is particular when it comes to providing free services, because any person can use this for malicious activities. To prevent that, Microsoft would need your credit card verification, but you will not be charged. So you will be given $200 worth credit for 30 days plus 12 months, always free services. There are some services that is always free. You will get access to 12 months free services plus 30 days full access to 200 Azure credit. But credit card required but not charged unless you upgrade it. And again, as a bonus tip, use Visual Studio Dev Essentials. It gives limited access to Azure credits and other tools if you are eligible. Then another mostly asked question is, what is the value of learning Azure skills? So it is in demand across multiple industries, so especially working home kind of jobs are created around the globe for Azure engineers. So you don't have to be on the site. So you can work for companies in Australia, Canada, US. If you know about Azure, if you're certified and qualified for Azure, you can work from Sri Lanka and earn US dollars. And then there are high-paying job roles like Azure admin, DevOps, AI engineers, security engineers, Azure administrators, and also Azure integrates with Microsoft 365 Dynamic and Power Platform. So if you have this kind of a joint kind of a knowledge integration, then you will be earning more with multiple job career perspectives. And then if you look at career path, as I said, it's good to start from AZ 900 fundamentals, but the next step would be AZ 104 administrator training. And then if you have Microsoft as administrator associate, you are good to start as a Azure administrator. But your career goal should be obtaining Microsoft certified Azure Architect Expert certification, which you need to complete 2 certifications, which is AZ 104 and AZ 305 to become an architect. In that case, AZ 900 fundamental course is not necessary, or it's not a prerequisite. It's not a must to have, but I would recommend you to have AZ 900 if you are new to Azure, because it will give you a lot of understanding of the fundamentals and basics of Azure. Then you are very comfortable and confident when you are taking AZ 104 Administrator Associate training and AZ 305 Architect level training. And the next one is, what are the job roles it supports? So you can become a cloud admin, you can become junior DevOps if you are more into DevOps side or development and programming, and also support engineers, cybersecurity architects, and also all the way to Azure architects. So you can build solutions on Azure. So another area that I would like to suggest is becoming a trainer like me. So it gives you a lot of understanding and expertise of Azure technologies, and also you will get a lot more benefits, like you get to travel the world, and also you will get paid in by other currencies, and also you can work for multiple organizations, you can work as a consultant, and there are lots more benefits apart from the normal generic job roles. Think about it as well. And I hope you understand Azure basics or basic concepts, and it's time to wrap up. And cloud is the future, guys. Everything is moving to cloud now. So in next couple of years, there won't be any locally maintained data center. Even for the banks, they will move to cloud. And then Azure is leading it. That's the best thing. So now they have second largest data centers around the globe but they will be leading because most of the governments and organizations are moving to Azure. And you can start small with AZ 900 and free access tools today. If you prepare today, you will be ready for the tomorrow. And then be consistent and be practical, and hands-on learning is the key. Azure is not something that you are talking about, but you are doing it, right? You lots and lots of resources out there, and then you can learn from them. And if you need any support, we will be here to help you. And like this video if you found it helpful, and subscribe for weekly cybersecurity and cloud training that we're going to be offering in the future. And comment if you want full AZ 900 workthrough or study guide. And also we are planning to host live webinar on Azure very soon. Thanks for viewing. Hope to see you with the next video.